so page 14, we're going to hit up some answers. So let's do this the way we did yesterday. Just we'll do it on a non-voluntary basis. So we'll start with you for number 1, and we'll just have you read either until you make a mistake or until I just get a little bored hearing from you, because I want to try to get around the room. So what do you think?
Negative 28.
I agree with negative 28.
Negative 29.
Negative 29 is good.
Negative 16.
Negative 16 is good.
Negative 12.
Negative 12 is good.
5.
5 is good. And I'll cut you off. We'll cut people off if they can hit 5 in a row. So move up a guy for 6. 5 is true. 4 is true. 4 is true. Negative 7 is true. Negative 15 is true. We'll cut you off. 5 for 5. The pressure's building. Someone will make a mistake. That'll be okay. 11, what do you think?
Negative 20.
Negative 24 is true.
Negative 34.
Negative 34 is true. And now things start to get harder, so we may not be on quite the run. We start to do a little bit of decimal life. Yep.
1.2.
1.2 is true.
1.9.
1.9 is true. One more.
Negative 8.86.
Negative 8.86 is true, and we'll cut you off. 16.
Negative 13.26.
That's true. And then we go fractions. So maybe fractions are going to be what takes us out.
1 over 7.
1 over 7 is true.
Negative 4 over 6.
That's pretty good. That's really pretty good. That probably would half point you on a test. Can you think of a way to make that better so I'd full point you on a test instead of negative 4/6?
Oh, negative 2 over 3.
Negative 2/3. We can reduce that, so we'll still count it as your turn.
Okay. Negative 16 over 12.
Okay, same thing.
Okay.
We'll go up a person for that. Fractions we always want to reduce. I don't mind if they're improper, but we do want to reduce them if we can.
Or 19.
19?
4 over 3 will negative.
It is negative 4 over 3. Keep going.
Negative 5 over 4.
That's true.
1 over 10.
That's true.
Negative 5 over 8.
That's true.
Negative 2.
That's true. And then we'll call a timeout on your turn, and let's just call a timeout on the whole section of going for a minute. Does anybody on the first 22 adding have any kind of repeats or questions or anything you need to know about the first 22 to be able to get them right someday? Okay, so we're back to row 2 for 24, working some whole numbers, but subtracting is sometimes harder than adding.
Me right.
Yeah, 24 is you?
Negative 3.
True.
Negative 12.
True.
Negative 21.
True.
5.
True.
5.
True. And then go up a person, 29.
5.
Disagree with 5, so we'll go up a person. 15 is true. Keep going.
44.
44 is true, and then there's some decimals.
Negative 11.6.
True.
Negative 17.7.
True.
Negative 29.25.
True. And I think that's 5, so we'll stop you. 34, go back a row.
34.8.
That's close. We'll go up a person. Something close to that.
Negative 34.8.
Negative 34.8 is true. Keep going.
Negative 7 halves.
That's true.
Negative 13 fifths.
That's true.
5 twelfths.
That's close. Give something close to that. Okay. Something close to that.
Negative 5.
It is, what did you say?
Negative.
Negative. Negative 5/12 is true. Go again.
3/4.
3/4, and let's call a timeout there. Does anybody need help up to 38? Repeats, questions, confusions, anything there? If you're getting it wrong, redo it. Make sure you know what you're doing. If you're not knowing what you're doing, that's why I'm here getting paid to do this job. 51, the problems get a little bit bigger, so we'll see how this goes. Still with you, 51.
2.
It is 2. 52
Negative 2.
is negative 2. 53
19.
is 19. That was a nice run of 5. 54, up a person.
47.
47 is true.
Negative 43.
Negative 43 is true.
7.
7 is true.
0.
0 is true.
Negative 33.
Negative 33 is true. So that's a nice group of 5 there. Then we skip to 60.
I forgot that was at the negative 58.
Okay. Okay. Do you have a thought on 60? Okay. Anybody? No, you don't have a thought, or your answer is no? Your answer is no. That is correct. How about 61? Also a no, and then 62. That is a yes. Yeah, at first I thought you were saying no, you didn't do it. Then I realized, hey, wait a minute. Whole page. Anybody, anywhere, page 14.
I don't think I know how to do like at least like 51 through like 57 in
Okay.
the correct order.
So 51, we're going to always do the parentheses first. And you just kind of have to patiently like peck away a piece at a time. So the first thing we would do is the 8 minus 10. Anybody just yell out. If you do the 8 minus 10 part, what'll that do for us? -2. Are you okay with -2?
Yes.
Okay. Then we go to the other set of parentheses, -6 adds a +2. So again, somebody just yell out, -6 adds +2. That is -4. That's true. You good with that?
Mm-hmm.
Now we need to subtract. So we have a -2 subtracting -4. And at that point, maybe you want to write something down. Even if you were doing those first pieces in your head, that might be a write it down move. So somebody with a hand, talk us through how this would go from here.
Minus.
Minus makes plus, and now we can do it. Then you get, correct. You good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, when you get the ones with the bars act like parentheses. You still do them first in that sense, but the bars, after you do them, will zap any numbers to make them not be negative anymore. So if this had bars around it, and this had bars around it, we'd zap this into +2, we'd zap this into -4, then do the subtract. 2 minus 4 is -2.
Okay.
But whatever's in parentheses, do it first. Whatever is in bars, do it first. If it's bars, zap away the negatives as soon as you get them. Zap them,
Okay.
and then finish. Is that good enough to get
Yeah,
you through that zone?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else, anything from page 14? Anything that had you feeling uncertain about what was going on with page 14 life? Okay. Make sure your name's on there. Make sure that's labeled page 14. If it's all the way done, send it on down. Okay, so today we multiply and we divide. So multiply and divide is pretty much always taught the same day in most levels of math. Why do multiply and divide get taught the same day for this positive negative stuff? That's true, they're opposites, so that puts them together, but there's an even better reason why most maths will just cover multiply and divide at the same time for this positive negative business. They have the same rules. So if I give you 2 positives, you come back with positive. I give you 2 negatives, you come back positive. We could summarize that in a shorter way to say if the signs are the same, you send back a positive. The only way you send back a negative is if the signs are different. So if I don't show you a symbol, like number 1, I'm just using parentheses to side by side, what operation is that when I side by side it?
Multiply.
That's multiply. So when you don't see a symbol and I side by side them with parentheses, that's multiply life. If you see stuff, just roll. If you have hesitation, you can just listen to me continue to talk. When we go decimals for multiply, you have to count. So like for number 5, everything to the right, you count how many numbers there are, and you make that answer have the same count. Number 6, count everything to the right, and then make sure the answer has the same count. Dividing, when you divide for 7 and 8, if you have hesitations there, the first thing you need for dividing is the divisor to be a whole number. So the 0.3, you have to move the decimal over. The 0.23 in the next one, you have to move the decimal over. And if you move over the decimal in the divisor, you also have to move the one in the dividend. When you divide after you're done, the decimal just goes straight up. Fractions, 9 to 13, you can get involved with some canceling and stuff. Okay, but the first thing you have to do on 9 to 13 is make some improper fractions. So if I have like 2 1/3, can somebody tell me what 2 1/3 would become?
7/3.
7/3. Does anybody need a refresh on how we can produce improper fractions like 7/3 from mixed, like 2 1/3? Does anybody need that lesson, a little mini lesson? Okay, so 9 to 13, first thing to do is make those impropers. Second thing to scope out is, if it's dividing, what do you do to divide fractions? What's our move? Dividing fractions, key move? Which one? You flip somebody. Second one. You flip the second fraction for anything that's dividing. Cancel if you like to. I do like to cancel, but you don't never have to cancel. How do you multiply basic fractions if nothing cancels? Just go straight across. So that's what you're doing on that bottom zone. There's no back to these notes. Just work the front. If you have a question, give me a holler. 1 is negative 32. Agreed. Keep going.
70.
70 is true. Negative 4 is true. 10 is true. You have a decimal in there somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you mean at the end? Is it to the left of the 5 or to the right of the 6?
The right percent.
Okay, I disagree on that one slightly then.
Is it negative 5.6?
That's warmer.
Negative 0.56.
It is negative 0.56. Do you want to keep going on 6?
0.00006.
That is correct. 0.00006. A point, 4 zeros, and a 6 go as far as you want to go.
9.3.
9.3 is true.
Negative 9.1.
Negative 9.1 is true.
Negative a half.
Negative a half is true.
And I got 15 under 104.
Okay, something funny happened on that one. There was probably an available cancel that you maybe missed. Somebody with something smaller than that. It's a fraction with both numbers single digit, under 10.
Negative 5/8.
That's
I mean,
closer.
it's 5/8.
It is regular. Positive 5/8 is true. 11. Keep going if you wish.
Negative a half.
Negative a half is true.
Negative 6/5.
Negative 6/5 is true.
And then just a half.
Positive a half is true. That's all true. Let's go quick repeat first. Anybody need a quick repeat? 12 is negative 6/5. If you dominated that, there's still like 20 minutes left. Go ahead, go page 21. Page 21 is the homework. Get started on that. You might be able to crush that, at least half of it or so maybe. Page 21 goes 1 to 56, then we skip a few, and it has 60 and 61. 60 and 61, you probably won't get right, and that's okay. If you get them right, be real proud. 60 and 61 are pretty big. Those are just there to have everybody test it a little bit today, and just try them. If they're right, they're right. If they're wrong, they're wrong. But give them a try on 21. If you didn't dominate that, let me answer some questions and give some advice. Is there anybody that wants me to help you track a mistake or a misunderstanding or something? Anything on the notes paper yet?
10.
10? Okay, so 10, did you make the first one 13 on top of 8?
I do not.
Okay, do you understand how that is 13 over 8?
Yeah, you multiply and then add.
You good on that? And if you get that far, now you can cancel the 13s.
Oh, okay.
You remember cancel? And then you're basically there. 5/8.
Thank you.
Yep. Anybody else, anything, help track ya? The skills to how to do anything from the notes paper? Anything confusing? Yeah?
Could you just give me like, could you just introduce that real quick?
7?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 7, am I still on screen over here, Hayden? Am I good? Okay, so a 0.3 into a 2.79, is that big enough to see from the back?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to move this over, the divisor has to be a whole number. And if you're moving this decimal over, you have to move that decimal over also. And then for the answer, we go straight up. 3 is too big to go into 2, so nothing. 3 into 27 goes perfectly 9 times. If you want to go through the writing down 9 times 3 is 27 and stuff, you can, but since it's perfect, you don't even have to really worry about that. 3 going to 9 is also perfect, so we can just pop that right there.
Yeah, I did 9.9.
Okay. If it was imperfect, then we'd have to put numbers here and subtract and just go and maybe get bars and stuff involved. But if it goes perfectly, we're happy. Anybody else, anything on the notes thing, any sort of uncertainties about the skills of how to make those magic answers happen at all? Okay, we can shut that down.